Hi everybody, welcome to Dandelion Cottage, and today is Marvelous Monday. I'm Leslie Watkins, and today we're going to do a little watercolor background for a card. So this is the inspiration for today's program. This is a stamp set called Grace's Garden, and with it I made this tunnel card, and I'm going to show you how, if I can get this on screen, there we go. I'm going to show you how to make a watercolor background to increase the effect. So let me turn you down. Okay, so this is what my little prototype looks like, and you can also get with the stamp set these dies called garden gateways, and they enable you to do a lot of different things. So for instance, you can make this little trellis with this gate that opens, and you can cut out all this foliage, and then there are these various plant designs that also come with the die so that you can cut them out. But I'm not going to go into all that today. I'm just going to show you how to make a quick and easy watercolor background. So here is my, sorry, losing my voice again. This is a piece of the Fluid 100 watercolor paper, and I've already moistened it a little bit. And I have, let me get one of the new ones. I'm going to get the new brushes, hang on. So these are the new water painters that are available now, and there are 3 of them. There's a little one, a medium one, and then there's also a flat, which is very handy. So for instance, if I squeeze the handle and get a little bit of the water to flow down, I can just brush that water on my paper to get it slightly damp, and this is going to let me do a nice wet and wet wash effect. So I'm using watercolors today, and I'm going to start with a little bit of a kind of a blue-violet mixture. And just get that started like so. And then I'm going to get a clearer blue mixture. So now this is just the plain blue, but I'm going to dilute that way down. So it's just a very pale, pale blue. There we go. And then I'm going to take a touch of pink and just put that at the horizon line. And then take a green mixture and just get that going across the bottom of the page. And I can take the side of my brush, let me zoom you in a little bit so you can see better. There we go. I can take the side of my brush and just indicate an irregular grassy line at the top. And I can vary the tone a little bit. we go. And maybe we'd have some kind of a shrub over here, something else over here. Okay, now I can let that dry for a moment, and while I'm just going to put that aside to get a little more dry, and while that's drying, I'm going to take some die cuts that I made. So I have a little arch, and this was made using the brick and mortar 3D embossing folder. Okay, and I just used a piece of crumb cake and I put it through the embossing machine. I made my textured image, and then I sponged over it with some ink just to give it a little more of a variation in tonalities and to heighten the effect of the wall. Now this says brick and mortar, but it also makes for a very nice stone wall as well. Okay, now let me find my card base. Which has gone missing. Here it is. Okay, so here is a piece of crumb cake that is designed in book form. Okay, so it opens to the side. And I cut out the shape of the archway, and that's one of the dies that comes with this set. And this is a really handy die to have, because you can do a lot more with it than just what comes with the rest of the pieces here. So for instance, I made this tag using that die, and this was actually the piece that came out of my card, and I then put the brick and mortar embossed folder that was sponged on top of there with these cutouts. So this makes a lovely tag with the linen ribbon. Alright, so I'm going to take this, I'm just going to glue this down. And this is the multi-purpose liquid glue. Put this on my work surface so I don't get glue. And I'm just going to line this up with the top and outer edge of the card. Make sure that's nice and straight. And then I also have this piece of strip of grass that I've cut out. And I think I used a die set with a possibly retired die. I'll check on that and make note of it below. And I'm lining that up with the bottom. There we go. So that's the beginning of our card. And I can slip this in to get an idea of where everything is situated, so I can see maybe I want to just raise this up a tad. There we go. All right, so I'm going to glue that down. There we go. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my stamp set, just do a little housekeeping here. Get all my lids on. Okay. So in this set, I have a number of flowers. So it looks like we've got some hollyhocks and maybe some sort of daisies or coreopsis. We've got some roses and some other little flowers, and then something spiky here that maybe could be baptisia. So I'm just going to take one of these tall ones, the hollyhocks. And I'm going to put that on a block. And now I'm going to use, I think I'll use the Smoky Slate for this. And this is just a light colored ink. I just want to get that positioned. Now I'm going to vary the height here a little bit. There we go. So using that as a basis, I can take my watercolors now and just put some color on there. And I'm going to add a little bit of yellow. There we go. And then I want to add some of this foliage, so I'm going to mix up a little bit of green using my yellow and blue. And just kind of indicate. So I'm using the stamped image as a base, but I'm also adding some of my own strokes. And now that the paper is a little bit drier, I can start to add some more of the grassy texture in the foreground. Just make some shapes indicating foliage in the background. Doesn't have to be too fancy, just a general shape to indicate that something's back there. I'm adding a little more blue to my green mixture to make it a little bit darker in the under the plant areas to indicate shadow. Okay, now let's let that dry a little bit. I also have some die cuts that I made earlier. These are from the set that I have some ones that I've already painted with watercolor. And then I have these little foliage, very beautiful, delicate die cuts. And I can add some of those to increase the effect. So, and I have these in a couple of different colors, and I'm just going to take my glue and just dot a couple of these leaves, just a tiny bit. I'm going to leave those unglued because they're going to overlap the edge here. Do the same thing on the other side. Okay. And I think I'll use some of this lighter color. There we go. So I think you can see how this starts to build up. And I can add a little bit of a 3D effect by using the Stampin' Dimensionals. There we go. Peel off that backing. And I'll put one on the other side. And I think it would be nice, I'm just going to take this little cat, and I'm just going to put her just there. So there you go. That's a quick and easy way to incorporate watercolor into your card making. I'll add this little bird right there. This has been a fantastic year for birds. I don't think I've ever had so many birds in my garden before. So there you go. So you can decide whether or not you'd like to put a sentiment. You could put a sentiment in there. So you could do something like this. Or you have room below to put a sentiment down at the bottom. So that's it for today, folks. I just wanted to come on real quick and show you that. It's kind of a work in progress. But I thought that with all the beautiful activity that's going on in the garden now, you might want to think about making a little gardening card. So I'll see you on Wednesday at 12 noon right here for Watercolor Wednesday. And until then, please stay safe, stay well, and stay creative. Bye for now.